The registration application of the Labour Party of South Africa was formalized by the Independent Electoral Commission on the 5th of March 2024, when the IEC issued the party official certificate of registration. The Labour Party will be taking the IEC to the High Court tomorrow to extend the deadlines in the election timetable, namely the cut-off dates for submission, which oblige newly registered and/or unrepresented parties to comply with Section 27 of the Electoral Act by Friday, the 8th March 2024, which is tomorrow. The Labour Party also contends, in short, that without this interdict it seeks through the High Court, the election will not be free and fair. The Labour Party is not the only affected party, and absent of the interdict, there is an adverse effect to the integrity of the elections. The Labour Party was registered as a result of a resolution taken by the Congress, our special Congress, in 2023 of the Association of Mine Workers and Construction, AMCO in abbreviation, after years of deliberation within its structures about the need to make difference in the broader social and economic realities faced by South Africa. AMCO currently has a total of 18 regional offices in all 9 provinces, and it is gradually expanding both in terms of scope and in terms of reach. AMCO track record speaks for itself. When it took over as a trade union on the Platinum Belt, workers were earning a poverty wages, and most were in abject poverty. These days, platinum workers are financially secured, and lowest paid worker at least earn a living wage of around 18,000 rand. After the past years, the mining sector has been in decline, and there have been massive waves of retrenchment, especially platinum, gold, and coal. Wage negotiations have also seen some longer periods of industrial action, during which the staying power of trade union was really put into test. AMCO realized that it had in many respects reached a cul-de-sac when it comes to engagement, and for it to have meaningful impact in the lives of people, it will need to participate in national policy making processes. Furthermore, the workplace has become highly politicized, meaning that the engagement in terms of the labor legislation are no longer responsive. Even though we have a National Economic Development and Labour Council, which is known as NEDLAC, in this country, it has become another proxy for neoliberal economic policies, and consultation between social partners tend to be either highly superficial or undermined by parallel deals. It thus became clear that we need to be in the parliament to influence the national dialogue and socio-economic policy making. However, the Labour Party is not a party for only AMCO. Right from the start, we said that the Labour Party must be a home for all progressive, like-minded organizations, including trade unions and civil society organizations that share our values and ethos. The Labour Party convened an engagement in Ekurhuleni yesterday, the 6th March 2024, to which we invited all major trade unions, federation, academics, and others to share the vision of the Labour Party. Even though we had a good engagement and learned a lot from each other's points of view, it was quite disappointing that most trade unions were not in attendance. However, our door will remain open to these unions and organizations, and we will be ready to engage them as we continue our campaign. let us focus on our values of Labour Party. At the center of the Labour Party ideology is one of would expect issues related to the world of work, such as job creation, decent wages, and equal pay for equal value. The Labour Party main campaign slogan, "The power is in your hands," emphasizing the connection to work being done with one hand, but also realization that voters can bring change by what they do and how they vote by their hand. The Labour Party emphasized that unemployment remained an enemy number one, and it is fair to say that it is unemployment that leads to poverty and inequality in our country. It was explained how work at the center of the society and how work brings dignity not only to workers but also to their families and the community in general. The reason for the registration of the Labour Party centered on many factors, such as the fact that the country is bleeding jobs like never seen before, and that there is a vacuum when it comes to a left voice in the current political dispensation. To illustrate latter, it is clear that all current political parties on the other basically talk left while they walk right. In terms of a trade policy, we must be saddened by the fact that South Africa has become a dumping ground for low quality goods from other countries. We don't even manufacture the clothes that we wear, and we consume food that we don't produce. Even though God endowed South Africa with the most fertile soil, loads of sunshine, and natural wealth, the way the current government approaches trade with other countries sees us importing almost everything, including basic foodstuff like milk and wheat. There is no job security because the government exports jobs by allowing Europe and Asia to dump its unwanted stuff at our harbors. We need to review trade policies to create local jobs. We must improve food security by utilizing all arable land owned by the state. There must be no vacant land where people are not engaged in agriculture activities. Community garden must be in every suburb or township or rural areas. We will strongly oppose any foreign investors who only seek to extract and loot our God-given mineral and natural endowments. Like we read in the book of John chapter 10, the thief's purpose is to steal and kill and destroy. My purpose is to give them a rich and satisfying life. Close quote. As a working class, we are not subhuman that we must depend on others to be able to make a living for ourselves. As it is written in the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 13, if you listen to this command of the Lord your God that I'm giving you today, and if you carefully obey them to the Lord, you will make you a head, not a tail, and you will always be on top and never on the bottom. So we shouldn't allow ourselves to be bottomed by any other foreign direct investors. The Labour Party strongly advocates for the protection of state-owned enterprises, commonly known as SOEs, such as Eskom, Transnet. It explains how access to the services provided by SOE is often a crucial part of the lives of workers and working class in general. The fact that these services are lacking and being disrupted in South Africa, it has led to an erosion of the social wage of all citizens. The term social wage refers to the visual income of a citizen due to the reduction of cost of living through access to quality public services. South Africa's social wage is extremely low, mostly due to the imploding public transport system, ailing provision of basic utility like water, electricity, lack of policing, low quality education, poor public health, and other basic services. In South Africa, while the working poor is trapped in these low quality services, those who earn slightly more must spend their money on the private health, private education, private transport, and private security services. This seriously diminishes expandable income. Protecting SOEs therefore increase the social wage by expanding public services, encouraging skills development, and vocational training. Let's be honest, in 1994, we took over a functional state, even though it was racially exclusive. We failed to build an inclusive, progressive, and functional state. In the new South Africa, we call on South Africans, irrespective of race, tribal lines, or culture, to join Labour Party in securing the future for our children. One of the proposals of the Labour Party is to create employment through conscription of unemployed youth to perform public service at monthly stipend. It is argued that this will have a double benefit in that it will lead to increased level of public service while also addressing unemployment and barriers to entering the world of work, such as lacking skills and work experience. That is why we are still inviting like-minded organizations with good moral value and high ethical standard to join forces with the Labour Party to make a difference and bring change. We are not in competition with any political party. We are fighting poverty, inequality, and unemployment. Our efforts are not channeled to any of the political parties in South Africa, but our energy will be directed to improving the livelihoods of South Africans. One of the principles of the Labour Party is to avoid entering into unscrupulous funding agreements. We must fund our own revolution to liberate ourselves. Our revolution will be funded by like-minded organizations banding together to the sake of social and economic justice. For you to be liberated from any kind of captivity, you have to fund your own campaign and your own revolution. In terms of mining, we must be very clear that the minerals wealth of South Africa must benefit all South Africans. Mines should not be for the gain of the few rich individuals, but instead the surrounding communities must experience improvement in their livelihoods through these minings. Before any shaft is developed, there must be a proper infrastructure and community projects. The mining charter must be incorporated into MPRDA, which is Mineral and Petroleum Resources Development Act, to be enforceable. Currently, it is mainly a code of good practice, and the mines who chooses to ignore their SLP social labor plans are merely doing that. The interim executive of the Labour Party is busy making the final arrangement for official party launch, and we will soon thereafter call our national convention where the party leadership will be elected and policy resolution will be formally adopted. A party manifesto is still in the process of being drafted on the basis of these ideological points of departure. These include the following key demands: jobs for all, tax the super rich, industrialize and beneficiate overall of our education system. Above all, we believe in God, the creator of the universe and the final arbiter of humankind. Our only Savior is Jesus Christ, and therefore the Labour Party shall base our policies on Christian values within the confinement of a secular state. As we read in Proverbs 29, verse 2, when the godly are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked are in power, the people groan. That is why the Labour Party remains open to any leader who has a high moral value and ethics and who wants to join us in making a difference in the lives of ordinary people of South Africa. Thank you very much.